Greetings from Florida. Today we're working on a 2003 to 2010 Volkswagen Beetle convertible. This is the passenger side. The video is at double speed. These panels are in terrible shape. The plastic is very brittle, so be careful. So you're going to pull off that cover right there carefully. Everything carefully. You've got 2 Phillips screws behind there. Good size ones. You might need a magnet to pull them out. Makes it a little bit easier. Notice the top, there's 3 Torx, I want to say Torx 20 screws on the bottom. Okay, notice the blue part, the candy shell part of the panel at the top. That is incredibly fragile. The heat really messes with it. I've seen them crack into a million pieces. Take it off as gently and carefully as you can. This one I took off before because I had to lock the window up until I can get the part for her. But like I said, just caution as best you can. You've got 1 cable that goes to the chrome handle. You've got a couple wiring harnesses. I'm going to take out all the 10mm bolts all the way around. Also, the other way to do this, there's, right down by the speaker where I just was, it's a 10mm nut. It's not a bolt. The other way to do this is to remove the latch, but that's a major piece of work to take all the wiring out. And so what I'm going to do is just take off enough of the panel to slide the regulator in and out. You'll see in a minute. 3 Torx 30, Torx 30? I think the Torx 30s on the motor. Take that off. And once you do that, you'll probably be able to pull the window up to a point where you need it. I've already locked it up by putting that right there, that drill bit in it. I'm going to bring it down enough to get access to it through the 2 access holes. That's coming off too. There's an access hole right there, and that's got a Torx 30 screw that you loosen. The access hole right there is a Torx 40 bolt that you remove. It goes all the way through the glass. Also, all around this thing is very sticky stuff that's going to get all over your arms. Not much you can do about that. One more bolt there, I forgot. And then you've got 4 10mm nuts. And hang on one second, I'll show you where they are. Oh, I am going to remove the glass. To do that, pull up the seal strip right there, and you should be able to get it out without a problem. Place it someplace safe. If you notice, there's a white plastic and metal clip that's on the right side of the glass. That's what you're screwing into with that 40mm bolt. 10mm nuts. Definitely want to have a magnet. On the bottom, you're going to pull off a couple of the plastic covers, and that's where you're going to get access to the 10mm nuts on the bottom. The bottom 10mm nuts can be slid back and forth. Those posts can be moved back and forth if you find the glass tilting in or not tilting in enough to the cockpit of the car, to the cabin of the car. You can slide those back and forth to adjust that. There's 2 plastic retainer clips that are on the cables. They're right there. There's one right there. And there's another one you can't see that's at the top. And that one's a bear to get in. It's a real challenge. Clean out all the stuff that's in the bottom of the door. By the way, the only place I can find these right now is from the dealer. There is no aftermarket option for this, which surprises me, but that's the way it is. They're very expensive. One of the biggest problems, the one on the left, doesn't easily go into the slot on the bottom of the door. So you will have to get that right. A couple times I was able to put the top post in and put that nut on, but I didn't have it in the bottom of the door correctly, so that didn't work out. So you'll need to make sure. You can look down from the top. You'll note my arm already has a lot of that black stuff on it. Please make sure that that bottom post is all the way through that slot before you put the top piece in. I think I went to get a hand wipe. If this video is helpful for you, do me a favor, like the video, L-I-K-E, just like the video. That'll help other people searching for the same type of video to find it on YouTube, and it's much appreciated. If you have any questions, just ask away right here on YouTube. I'll be glad to get back to you within a day or so. So now I'm pretty sure I got it all the way in, or else I wouldn't have put that on, because the first time I did this, not on this car, but on another Beetle, I did not have the bottom post in that slot. And I did get that top nut in, and it, don't even want to tell you how long it took. And I lost a nut. It's actually there, but I couldn't find it. I ended up grabbing another one out of my toolbox. All right, next up, I told you there's two retaining clips that are attached to the cables. You want to put these on so that the glass doesn't get in the way of the cables. The bottom one's not a big deal. The top one's a bear. It just doesn't want to go in. So feel free to struggle with it until it does. You'll feel the hole in the door. It doesn't go all the way through the door to the inside, but you'll feel it on the part where my hand just was now. Hey, for what it's worth, if you really feel like it, you may be able to get these rebuilt from a place on the other coast of Florida called Window Motor World in, I believe, Fort Lauderdale. Window Motor World. They charge about $200. They're pretty quick, but you're not going to have a regulator on your door for 3 days. You could check with them about rebuilding it if you want to. They also sell these rebuild kits on eBay and Amazon. Good luck with that. I've done this for 26 years and I can't rebuild them. So if you want to tackle it and you can do it, you're a better man than I, Gunga Din. All right, so I got that first one in at the top, and then I imagine I got the other one in. So now we're going to go ahead and put the bolts back in. 10mm bolts all around, except the bottom one by the speaker is a 10mm nut. Next piece of work is getting that, be careful with that plate that the edges are sharp, so you can cut yourself if you're not careful. You need to get that plate over to the left, which you're going to see right now. You don't want to unspool it, obviously. That would really ruin your day. If you have an awl or punch, it might make it a little bit easier to slide that around. What I'm looking for in my tool bag is my awl. And I found it. I struggled with this for a while. What I eventually did was put a longer 10 millimeter bolt in the top one to bring it close. So my next thought was to take off part of the panel and see if I can get my hand behind there, which didn't work out either. And I guess at that point I found a thicker, a longer 10 millimeter bolt and went with that. So putting back the bolts I took out. Now to put the motor back on, you might find it doesn't line up properly. So you can try to adjust the wheel on the regulator, or you can just plug in the switch, the window switch, and turn on the key, and you can just move the window gear to the point where it's going to line up, which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go grab the switch. Be careful taking it out of the panel. The panels are very brittle. They crack very easily. You've been warned. So just by moving the switch a little bit, I can move that a bit back to the Torx 30s. Just checking to make sure everything goes up and down. It does. Next, I'm going to grab the glass. One thing before you do that, on the channel on the left-hand side, it's a thin channel. Just spray a little bit of WD-40 in there just to make it easier to get everything together. Suction cup comes in handy for this job. Harbor Freight Tools, if you need one. Or 3M Astro Pneumatic. And there's my Torx 40 bolt. Be careful not to lose it inside the door. You're going to have to take everything apart to get it out. And there's the Torx 30 screw. I guess it's a bolt. Take that back. There's where I put a little bit of WD-40 there. Just a little bit. So now let's put it down and up a little bit. Test it out. Putting the seal strip back on. Make sure that's down all the way. Looks like we done it. So you can watch the rest of this if you like. It's another 3 minutes long. Putting the panel back on. I can't think of anything interesting to tell you. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. If you have any questions, please ask. If you like the video, I really would appreciate that. Have a great week.